Hey everybody, it's Party Elite kicking off a brand new Total War 3 Kingdoms Records Mode Let's Play in the upcoming DLC, The Furious Wild. There is so much cool new stuff to play with and to explore in this DLC. I cannot wait to dive in, so I'm not going to bore you with a prolonged introduction, just want to mention a couple of things. First things first, of course, a massive thanks goes out to the folks over at Creative Assembly for once again deeming me worthy of early access so that I can showcase this DLC on the channel. My plan is to showcase it not only through this Let's Play that we're kicking off today, but also I hope to get a review done before the DLC actually drops. That way you'll kind of get an idea of how I feel about everything across the board, how everything works together, and how the DLC feels as a whole. The other thing I want to mention is that there are so many things to talk about that I kind of want to speak to them before we get in on the action in earnest. So, if you are not interested in any of the mechanics conversations, I have for you some timestamps down below so you can skip past that conversation entirely. And if you are interested in learning about all the interesting mechanics that are coming with the Nanman Warlords, then I suggest you follow along with that because honestly, it's integrated through all aspects of gameplay in so many ways that I feel like it's kind of important. Otherwise, we're going to keep stopping every 2 minutes to talk about new features and whatnot. So I'd rather just do it all at once at the beginning, so people that want to skip it can skip past it, and folks that want to watch through it as well can choose to do that instead. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's talk about Mulu, who we'll be playing as for our playthrough. Chief of Bana Ravine. Playstyle focus is mastery of the elements, and his starting situation is normal, though of course we are going to be playing on very hard, as we always do. That should kick it up a notch. We're also keeping timeless characters off. I want my characters to age and die. I like that mortality, and I also like to play, as some of you will already know, in records mode. So we will be doing that. This will be a records mode playthrough, just to show also how these guys play in records mode, especially when it comes to some of the special units, let's put it that way. So, Pride and Rituals is our faction sort of focus, our unique resource. King Mulu believes himself the greatest warrior of all the tribes. Defeating other tribes' champions will surely secure this belief. We'll touch on its detailed mechanics a little bit further when we actually dive into the campaign map, but basically defeat high-ranking characters to gain pride quickly, which will allow us to reduce the cost of recruiting animal units, and gives us some buffs as well as we go down that path, so to speak. We have access to multiple animal units. We have the option to conquer regions to learn new rituals, which is another thing we'll touch on when we kind of get there, and our economic reforms can be researched a bit more quickly. And reforms are a completely different beast here, so that'll be interesting to touch on too. We have the Ravine Warriors, we've got War Elephants, and we've got Southern Elephants to kick things off as our unique features, and we have a Loyalty of the Beasts as our tribal fealty, which is yet another mechanic we'll touch on when we dive in. Looking at our character, we are enigmatic, we are wise, and we are solitary. Fury is the staple of the Nanman, as is the destruction it brings. That will give us the 10% campaign movement range bump and reduced upkeep for animal units for our army as well, both of those. And the world of men is barely a footnote to King Mulu. Nature is his calling, and defending it against those who threaten such ancient orders. Mulu is indifferent to the ways of people, regarded as aloof and distant, yet this seeming disinterest hides a keen insight into the peoples he encounters. Should he perceive threats, Mulu is incensed and charges into battle with both loyal man and beast at his call. He's really about this blend of people and animals, and I feel like that it appeals to me so much in so many ways. Plus, he just looks like an absolute boss, so really excited to dive in as him. If we look at the map really quickly, you will see that we are beginning in this little corner over here, of course. I'm opting, like you can begin in 194 as well, but I'm opting to begin in the year 190 instead. Should be a more interesting opening act, I think, just for a handful more years. I think it's a nice touch. So as Mulu, we shall dive in to unite the tribes. The overall Nanman Kingdom victory conditions involve uniting all the tribes and controlling all 21 Nanman lands, counties, while also controlling 50 counties overall and holding on to that for 20 turns. Should be a relatively fun campaign, so let's dive on in to unite the tribes.
ancestors dreamed of peace. But all we know now is war. One day my name shall echo through these valleys. How much blood has been spent? And yet unity is still so far from reach. Are we no better than the Han? Are we as savage as they say? Without unity, we will all fall. No. No surrender! No surrender! There will be one tribe! One king!
大王，您与天地的羁绊之深，必能感知到脚下大地的兴衰更替。中原祸乱平起，然则仅凭您一人之力，便可只手挽天青。拯救苍生，须得从长计议。各部族必须团结一心，听命行事。但您必须先镇压族内的不臣之徒。近邻的交趾蛮横好战，而您也不惧挑战。长远来看，让他们见识到自己的愚蠢行径很有必要。告诉他们，若不跪服，灭族之日不远矣。还有朵斯大王，他软弱无能，没有自保之力。也许他在为大王效力时，能有更好的表现。除此之外，汉朝的戍边将领如悬梁利刃，对南境虎视眈眈。如若放任无事，必会为南境招来灾祸。士燮奉皇命守卫国土，不过他的存在只会腐化这片土地。一旦您的力量稳固，他亦必将与您为敌。届时，您当悉心守护此域。大王，汝乃72洞与野兽之共主，倾二者之力对抗敌人，领南境众部落齐心合力，则可稳固如巨树根于后土。
All right, King of the Banna Ravine, King Mulu, long have you defended, with an unmatched power, against those who would seek to corrupt and pollute the land. Now that strength is required more than ever, to unite the tribes against enemies within and without. The Han looms large, whilst the tribes threaten to tear each other apart. Unite them, Mulu, and let land and beast prosper once again. So, we've got some specific things to us. Conquer target ritual regions to unlock powerful bonuses for your faction. And due to your connection with the natural world, animal units cost less and are more powerful. Again, that's our connection to, the animals of the natural world, which is a nice little thing that appeals to me. Mission issued right off the bat, of course, the ambitious leader takes their first steps. We must take our first steps to unite the people of the South. We have feuded with our neighbors for long enough. Now is the time to strike and send a message to our enemies. So, we have our first objective to destroy or vassalize the Fealties tribes, who are right down over here just south of us. A little bit of money on success, but more importantly, a tribal fealty will come with it. And if we take a look at tribal fealties, you will see a screen that well, it's very different from anything else in the game. Now, I'll mention again really quickly, folks, if you are not interested in talking about all the Nanman mechanics, at the beginning of this video, timestamps in the description down below, so you can skip on by that. But we're very quickly going to go over some of these beautiful details and beautiful additions, so we don't have to stop every time they come up in the middle of our campaign. So first things first, we've got our tribal fealties. Now, how this works is basically anytime you, in one way, shape, or form or another, conquer one of the tribes of the Nanman, you obtain their fealty. Now, that can be a proper, good old-fashioned conquest. It can be vassalization. It can be confederation. But if you destroy them, one way or another, you get their fealty. Each of these fealties has a different effect, so you can kind of tailor your approach based on what you prefer. So the Jiaozi tribes, for example, are the first folks we're going after, and with their fealty, when we have them, we'll get prestige increase, research rate bump, better income from commerce, but reduced diplomatic relations with the Han Empire. And you'll see there are, reduced recruitment costs for Nanman units. We've got better range damage. We've got, let's touch on the smaller tribes first on the outside over here. So like better income from industry. So it's all about your approach and what you would prefer first. That helps you determine maybe, which direction you'd like to head and who you'd like to chase after nice and early. Beyond that, some of the bigger tribes like Duosi, Menghuo, Shamok, Wutugu, Lady Jurong, and Yangfeng, they all have, bigger impacts. For example, opening up tribal council positions, unlocking certain unit types for recruitment, but they are the more big deal, big fish tribes. The other thing to consider is that if, let's say, you were to go toe-to-toe with a tribe that has already acquired a bunch of fealties, when you destroy that tribe, that superior tribe that has collected all these fealties, you obtain theirs and all that they have acquired. So for example, let's say Duosi manages to get Dong, Tuna, and Ahuinan, and we take out Duosi, then we'd get all of their fealties and get all those benefits all together all at once. At least that's my understanding of how it's supposed to work and how it works. So that's, again, something to consider as everybody else also collects their fealties. We are, of course, Mulu. That's what we start with. And if we were playing as somebody else, then we would be a target, just like, for example, Lady Jurong is for us. So that's tribal fealties taken care of. Beyond that, there was a lot of mention of research rates. So let's go ahead and take a look at reforms, because treasury and records are whatever standard things, but the reforms are completely different. So first off, we only have the one thing available to us, elephant taming. It gives us an elephant mount. Let's go ahead and research that. Again, it's going to take a handful of turns. There's a research rate bump. All that is, okay, kind of standard, but everything else feels super fresh, including the screen itself, really. Honestly, I can't get over the art. But how does this work? So there are three branches, I suppose we could say, of the research tree. Now, if I'm not mistaken, we will be able to research anything that is under the political line right from the beginning. But as far as the military and the economic lines, I believe we have to actually perform certain actions before those will start being unlocked for us. Now, overall, again, simple stuff in terms of you choose something, you hit research, it takes a handful of turns depending on your research rate, you move on. Great, wonderful. But there are a couple of unique elements. There are a lot of researches that will lock off other researches. And the way they're paired off is to imply staying true to like your tribal roots, so to speak, versus modernizing to face the threats, or however you want to phrase it. I really like the angle there. A great example of it is tribal zeal for our military chain, which enables scare faction-wide, improves charge bonus and battle running speed, really kind of like, again, it's that tribal zeal type of fighting versus advanced battle tactics, which allows you to use formations and starting rank for your melee infantry and for your polearm and spear infantry recruits. So you can see, like, to me, that is the most iconic representation of what they're going for here in terms of how you want to advance your people. And you don't have to commit to it across the board. You can do one thing in one space and another thing in the other. But ultimately, at the bottom over here, in the final tier of this research rock, I guess it is, tree seems inappropriate, you get right down the middle, you have a baseline kind of thing you can research for all 3 of these. But on either side of the middle, we've got our last step of your dedicated research, let's call it. You have to have researched 2 of the 3 dedicated to either tribal or, I don't know, modernization, if you want to call it, options, to then pick one of your final research options at the bottom over here. So you do have to commit a little bit early on to figure out where you want to end up. I really like that. It's a very interesting kind of approach to this. Pretty neat. I mean, right off the bat, I can tell you, for example, we're probably going to go for cave networks right down the middle over here because it gives us more war elephants available for recruitment, more tiger warriors, and more Nanzong elephants for recruitment as well. And we're going to go animal heavy. We're going to play up that beastly factor for Mulu, of course. But, you know, for that purpose, we have to pick and choose which ones of these we are willing to give up, because we have to get 2 here. Anyway, I'm being a broken record. Super cool. That's how reforms work. Moving on, because there's more to talk about. Diplomacy is diplomacy. That kind of stays as is. We've got our court, which, again, similar but different. We've got new positions, basically. The Cave Lord is the equivalent of an administrator. The Tribal Council, which I believe we actually do have to give to Li Bao because he's rank 3. So he's already pretty upset about his current situation. So we can assign him the Tribal Council role, which gives us more trade influence, reduced corruption, and again, of course, helps with satisfaction at the cost of some salary. I suppose we could go ahead and do that. It's not like Nuba early is going to need that too early in this campaign. Yeah, he's fine. So, Li Bao, go ahead and make you Tribal Council right off the bat. Actually, we'll do that afterwards, because I want to separate gameplay from mechanics conversations. My apologies. So, our faction summary over here. Again, a relatively familiar looking screen, though we can also make our way all the way up to the Emperor's Seat. It's all differently named, of course, but as you gain more prestige, you go ahead and unlock more options, more armies provided, better satisfaction, experience, all the usual trappings of going up the faction ladder, as it were. But then down over here, we have our pride element that we were talking about earlier in the faction selection screen. So, as you defeat generals in battle, you will gain pride based on their levels. As you can see, pride is gained after each battle based on the sum of the levels of the generals you have defeated. Unlocking rituals also increases gain of pride at a rate of 2 points per ritual known. There are 8 rituals to learn, and what happens is every 4 turns, I believe it is, of those rituals that you know, 4 get selected and served to you as options, and then you have to select one of those 4 and take on its buffs and debuffs as for those 4 turns or what have you. And as you can see, having higher pride will increase the power of your rituals, amplifying both their positive and negative effects. Now, as you go up the pride ladder, I suppose, if you will, or down the line over here, you can see numbers go up significantly in terms of range damage for animal troops, upkeep for animal units. There's a lot of impact to having pride, and it's sort of it's a natural part of playing through a total war game is fighting people. So you're going to gain pride, but the rate at which you gain, of course, is determined by your actions and the speed at which you act, because decay will constantly be pushing back on that gain. Now, apart from that covers all of our bases up over here. Just a couple more things to touch on that I think are essential. For one, with Mulu, the only stances we have available are March, Ambush, and Encamp. Now I know that sounds... also, of course, normal stance. Now I know that sounds normal, and why am I saying the only stances we have? Well, that's because some of the Nanman tribes have other stances available. Lady Zhurong, for example, has a specific stance to her, like fiery god relations, but that's a topic for another time, I suppose. For Mulu himself, or for any character, really, we're going to do a quick right-click over here to open up their details, and you will see this is completely different. Completely different. As you gain experience, you can choose to bump up any of your attributes based on how you intend to use your generals. And this applies to legendary and regular generals all the same. So depending on how you want to use somebody, you might want to stack up their authority or instinct or what have you. Beyond that are personal goals. And personal goals are a reflection of your actions. So for example, killing 900 people will unlock Butcher, or sorry, killing I think 300 people it is, will unlock Butcher at the first level. Go on, so on and so forth to unlock higher levels and get better benefits. And these all require you to perform specific actions to unlock them and to to get their benefits, obviously. Now, some of these are relatively simple to, just execute by virtue of playing the game, but sometimes you'll want to keep a track of stuff. Let's say, for example, fight siege battles with this character. Maybe you want to keep a track of that. If you just left-click here, it becomes a pinned mission, and you now actually actively are reminded to chase after that as a task for one of your characters. And again, this exists for not just your legendary characters, but also for your regular characters as well. So you can pursue their personal goals, and again, improve them as you want them to be improved. It's the same thing as chasing after skills on a skill tree, but now it's a bit more, I like this kind of thing. It's a bit more action-oriented. Fight ambush battles with this character to have access to night battles. That's so much more challenging than just clicking a button and getting night battles. I think it speaks for itself, right? And I believe that might be everything there is to talk about. I mean, the other thing to note is that Mulu is on Elephant Back with a Southern Elephant unit, or not a unit rather, is even in Records mode, you are a solo general if you are on an elephant. If you are on horseback, then you have your unit with you, and resolve and its general bodyguard size actually matters. But if you are not, then it is simply you alone on your elephant. And I believe that touches on everything we can touch on right now. I am going to finally actually get things going, kick things off. I apologize for that prolonged introduction, but I'm sure you can see why. It's because there is just so many elements that would keep interrupting us with explanations otherwise if we hadn't done that. So, folks, let's get this party started, shall we? First things first, we are going to just send Mulu down over here against the Daozi tribes to get our first battle going, show some of our elephants in action, and just have a good time. I mean, I guess it might not be a bad idea to actually go ahead and apply some of these accessories and stuff. What can we do over here? Mulu's bell for extra authority. Maybe extra morale isn't a bad idea either. Extra cunning. We already have a lot of cunning, actually. Cunning is our strength, which is fine because elephant units do have ammunition. They are ranged-ish units, so to speak. They've got a fair bit of ammunition, actually, and a fair bit of range as well. So fine, we can amplify that. I really want Mulu to lead like a band of elephants in his own retinue. I think that's kind of what I'm gonna chase after. Li Bao here, meanwhile, let's go ahead and get you again. He's dissatisfied. Keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and up your instinct. Give you this stone pig as well. Bump up his instinct a little bit, and let's also, as I was saying earlier, during our little discussion of mechanics, go ahead and give him his role on the Tribal Council too. Again, helps with trade influence, helps with corruption reduction. Sure, let's go ahead and do that. Helps with his satisfaction primarily is, I guess, the big deal. Thank you very much. Just talking about standard gameplay stuff. But yeah, okay, he's satisfied. Great, excellent, wonderful. In fact, sorry, before we dive in, let's go ahead and get a trade deal going, because we do have a trade deal available right from the start. Let's go ahead and supplement our economy before I forget, as I am prone to doing with trade deals. And we can either get one going with Ahuinan or Dongtuna. And the thing is, we already have a non-aggression pact with Ahuinan. Even though they're right next to us, and I'd love to take them over, I think we're better off just building that relation a bit more, and we'll confederate them eventually, maybe. Or vassalize them or something. Maybe we can do that if they even survive that long. There are other threats. There are other contenders in the area too. So sure, trade deal, value 325, fair enough. Go ahead and take, I don't know, this clay pig. That ought to do the trick, right? Oh, really? Wow, that actually doesn't do the trick. Wow. Fine, don't take my clay pig. The Book of Songs, sure. I could also just give them a little bit of money, but that seems counterintuitive. Here, you can have my iron sickle. Give me back my clay pig, though. I should be able to keep the clay pig. Yeah, there we go. It's a little bit in their favor. That's fine. Helps our relations a little bit. Helps our money. That's all I really care about right now. Let's go ahead and propose that deal. with Huinan. Good stuff. Deal signed. So we've got our non-aggression pact and our trade agreement. Good stuff. Now, let's dive on into the action, shall we? Down to the Zhaozi tribes, making sure I've covered all my bases. I think I have. Let's do it. And of course, this is the first battle of a new campaign. It would be sacrilege not to fight it. Decisive victory, sure. But let's go in, get some cinematic shots, and see those elephants in action, because my oh my, action is certainly the right term. Let's dive on in to the battlefield.
人之未战，如风卷山峦，声势浩大，却瞬息即逝，既无方向，亦无意义。然而留下的窗口，却久久不能愈合。此时此处，吾难免愤怒不能自已。我当如草中毒蛇，无论何人，无论何故，犯我族人者，必将中毒而亡。
I'm already in love with the writing. Oh my god. I must uncoil like the serpents in the grass, and with my venom drain the life of those who would, whether knowing or unknowing, do us harm. Man, that's epic. Alright, let's do this. Let's begin. The carnage. Now, the battlefields as well are going to be absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to try and only be distracted by them for our opening battles, of course, so you can enjoy the visuals. I will try and get some cinematic shots, of course, for these early battles when we have the luxury of, you know, being a bit more lax in our command. And for later battles, I do have some plans as well that should allow us to get some nice cinematic shots in and stuff as well. Just working on improving my my playthroughs in any way, shape, or form possible, of course. And folks, I just want to mention as well, if you didn't already see my live stream from a couple of days ago, you can check that out if you want to see the details about all of these units and see them in action there as well. And I want to mention, of course, that if you are enjoying, or, I mean, I don't know how much of the series you've watched so far, there's only been the one episode, but if you are enjoying the idea of having more Three Kingdoms on this channel, if you're enjoying the idea of having this Mulu playthrough continue on this channel to completion, the best way to make sure that happens is by leaving a like and a comment down below. As always, it makes a massive difference in how I approach content on the channel, what I do more or less of, and how I go about doing it. Not only do I look at the number of likes and comments to get a quick read on what folks are interested in, but I also read all of the comments. Again, just to get an idea of what people are looking to, looking for, looking forward to. That worked out very nicely. Yeah, so do keep those likes and comments coming, folks, if you want to see more Three Kingdoms on the channel. That's the best way to make sure it happens. The next episode of this playthrough will be releasing tomorrow at the same time. And the episode after that will be releasing on Monday at the same time as well. And we will... Again, I got to navigate like embargoes and all that kind of stuff as well, right? And then we'll find a consistent schedule for it afterwards to make sure that we're getting a good number of these Nanman episodes out. Now, as we march forward, let us enjoy the scenery. Let's enjoy the sights because they are absolutely beautiful. I mean, these elephants look absolutely gorgeous. Let's look at them before they are completely covered in the red blood of the enemy. Because even with gore and blood numbers like pulled down, there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood. So heads up. These units are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they are so unique to look at. And we are marching up, yes, because we have to be wary of fatigue. Again, we are playing records mode, so we have to be a bit more careful there. Okay, getting a little close. They're making me nervous with their chants and marches. They're so different to look at with their armor, their shields. Everything just feels just fantastic. It's just so different. Just so different. And it's not even looking at the literal elephant in the room, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and win this one. Get some bloodshed happening. Creep you guys up. Keep moving forward. Pushing with a little flanking maneuver with our elephants. Get Mulu coming in from the side as well. Let's see if we can't get them to gain a couple of ranks nice and early and just sharpen their blades and their tool sets, as it were. Uphill struggle over here. Just got to navigate this terrain a little bit. But yeah, we'll push up. Standard engagements. Come with some flanking maneuvers with our elephants and whatnot. And get some work done that way. In fact, something to touch on is this. We do have this passive buff enabled if in the forest, increasing our speed, ranged attack rate, morale, and melee attack rate as well. So that will come in handy as we wreck these fools. Let's make a display of the fact that I don't have that much patience. Let's go ahead and charge up. I really don't have that much patience. Pull these guys back a little bit. I am not concerned about those spears, by the way. Not in this quantity. Not in this quantity. We could probably actually win this entire battle. No, that's not true. We might be able to win this entire battle using just our elephants and Mulu. Maybe. We are able to get some shots in nice and early. Focus on these Nanman spears since they don't have block chances. Let's go ahead and do that, and let's march our troops into their final destination at the same time. Well, I say final, but you know what I mean. We're obviously going to be charging in. So, I'm so pleased. I love elephants, just in general. So it's fun for me as well to see them on the battlefield. Go firing away. Slings over here. So again, having a cunning focus for Mulu is not a bad idea, actually, just to help with more ammunition and whatnot. And that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking with Mulu we'll have that animal-heavy approach, at least for his army, because that feels, you know, in character. And again, to those of you that are unfamiliar with this channel, that is my primary approach typically, is to roleplay rather than min-max, and let that kind of drive our decisions and whatnot. I feel like there's a lot of fun to be had that way. In come the charges, so let's get our counter charges going as well. Counter charges going, I said. Go ahead and sling at the slingers. In we go. Wonderful. Lines have engaged. Let's get the elephants to engage as well. Right into the spears, I say. How about that? How about that? Let's go ahead and engage you like this. You got a charge coming in from there. Let's get you guys coming in from the sides over here. All right. Cooperation of man and beast. Need I say more? Need I say more? They just like walk right through. Walk right through and immediately giving up on the fight. Immediately giving up on the fight. All right, cool. Let's get those elephants over here next. Charging through, of course. Get you guys chasing after some of these slingers, perhaps. And pull you in for a rear charge, maybe, if that's even necessary. Let's see how the elephants do over here as they hopefully go charging through. Oh, a little toss over there. Not the cleanest charge. Oh, here we go. Some coming through. Come on, baby. Come on. There we go. Right, let's push through. Let's just push through. In comes Li Bao and Mulu coming through as well. Gonna get a little caught up in the cavalry potentially. No, looks like we're just gonna march through. Your elephants can get caught up in cavalry. Just a heads up. So it's not like they can just walk through anything. They can get tied down. But we're pretty good over here. Let's go ahead and keep. We sent our slingers a little too far ahead, maybe. What happened there? Really me. Paying too much attention to my elephants, I guess. This guy's tied down. We're doing okay up there. Shut those slingers down over there. Elephants have done their job over here. Yeah, just absolutely crushing these guys' will to fight. Not too shabby. Don't need to chase those guys all the way off in the distance there. I think those slingers are about to give up. Down over here. How are we doing? Chasing after these horses is probably not the best use of our time. Let's take a look at these. Oh my god. Arrived right on time. Right on time. Mulu just absorbing the pain over here. These elephants, I guess we could try and chase. Again, not I don't think we're the fastest, actually. Oh, well. Fast at winning this battle, I suppose. I guess we could call it there. There's no real reason to chase these guys down. It is a settlement battle, so it's not like we need to eliminate them completely. We could look at gaining some more experience, I suppose. All right, let's get one more charge in, and then we'll call it a battle. One more charge. I feel like we could use that. Also, look how like bloodied they have become. Just completely covered in blood. Yeah, I don't think we're... Are we closing the gap? I don't think we're closing the gap. They might actually get away from us. What we got over here? 38 versus our 50. So we're slowly closing the gap. Ooh. Come on. Come on. Here we go. I mean, they slowed down. That was their mistake. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, my God. Absolute carnage. That guy got tossed. These elephants are magnificent. Just magnificent. Yeah, just like that. Let's claim the victory. Don't need to prolong this. Decisive victory it is. Maybe took a few more losses than I would have liked, if I'm completely honest. Definitely cacked up an order back there with our slingers or something, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. I wanted to show off those elephants and the elephant charges. Letting myself get distracted while we can afford to do that. Okay, we only lost 300 troops. That's really not that bad. I definitely can do better than that, but that's really not that bad. Gained an ancillary, and this is yet another major kind of change with the Nanman tribes. We of course have Occupy, Loot and Occupy, and Sack and Withdraw. Those options are as is. Occupying and looting and occupying will allow us to gain faction fealties or tribal fealties of this faction if that move will destroy the faction. Because again, you gain tribal fealties through the destruction or vassalization or confederation of another Nanman tribe faction. So Occupy and Loot and Occupy do that if it's the last faction, right? Or if it's the last settlement, sorry. But we can also choose to confederate or vassalize. And over here, I'm thinking we're going to go with confederation. There is the maybe seen as an act of treachery penalty, but that's not going to be the case. There's no reason for anybody to perceive it that way. Whereas if we occupy, we take the faction support penalty. I don't want to have to deal with that. So a simple confederation is in order. I think the Jiaozi tribes join Mulu. Beautiful. And you can see, of course, just to let us know, the fealty of Jiaozi is with us. Lets us know as well the faction has been destroyed, and we own the fealty of this faction, giving us that bumped research rate, giving us the improved income from commerce, and the improved prestige as well. But again, hurting our diplomatic relations with the Han Empire. I like that as well. To me, it's as though as you collect the fealties of all the tribes, the Han Empire gets a bit more nervous about the collective strength that you've garnered, and so you are perceived as a threat. That's how I read that reduction in diplomatic relations with the Han Empire as you collect more fealties. I think it's a nice way to interpret it. Faction succession among the Jiaozi? No. They've call it what you want. Destroy or vassalize Jiaozi tribes. We've got our money. Wonderful. Faction confederated. These two factions have become one. Deployed generals and family members have remained in this new faction, while others have left to seek their fortune elsewhere. Don't know how many generals we might have gotten from that, but we'll keep an eye out for it. Mulu confederated. Good stuff. And there's the fealty of Jiaozi. The people of Jiaozi remember the times before the Han dominance, and as such can often be found bearing stones near Ma Yuan's column. To some, a sign of security, to others, a mark of misfortune. Very well, gained the fealty of Jiaozi for Mulu. Good stuff. Next mission issued. The Nanman expand their reach. Now we have established ourselves, we should secure more lands, a firm bedrock from which our empire can burgeon and flourish. We'll control 4 settlements, either by direct ownership or through alliances, get a little bit of money as well. Now, to do that, we could head down this way towards Shi, which, again, I apologize for butchering any pronunciations. I will try and learn them. Feel free to correct me in the comments as well. Now, so we could head down this way, and in fact, if we take a look at our holdings here, Lin Tian and Longbian are the ideal targets to get this entire commandery under our command. However, I think what I want to do is focus on uniting the tribes first before engaging with the let's engage with the Nanman before we engage with the Nanman factions, I suppose, and then proceed to take over all of China, I guess. So yeah, we're going to focus on, I think, Dong Tuna next. That is a valuable Nanman land for us, and I believe further up north there are some, again, more crucial threats that'll be coming our way, I'm sure, sooner rather than later. Just to touch on something again, reforms, because we have that tribal fealty, that plus 5% is reflected right away to our research rate. Not going to make a big difference as we research elephant taming. It's just going to take 5 turns anyway. But over time, that obviously adds up. Beyond that, was there something else to touch on? No, I think we're pretty good over here. What do we got over here? Traits gained. Li Bao is a butcher. Well, that was fast. Already got the butcher trait. Fair enough. Take a look at that real quick. That is the... Yeah, he's got his level 1 butcher trait. 10% melee armor piercing damage increase. Wonderful. And Mulu seems to have leveled up. Excellent. Let's go ahead. I mean, again, I could pump up his cunning. Are we really going to use elephants from rain? after what we saw there. Alternatively, I could bump up his instinct instead. Now, what you saw, these southern elephants are not the top tier elephants. There are elephants that actually have an even higher charge bonus, the war elephants, and we will be heading towards them for sure. Let's go ahead and bump up authority, actually. The extra morale, I think, will go a long way for an elephant-focused retinue, because melee damage is already pretty good. So cunning is pretty high already, so fine. Let's go ahead and bump up our authority a little bit, and we'll come back to cunning down the line as it becomes more, I think, relevant. So sure, let's go ahead and do that. Let's apply that. Wonderful. I could, in fact, swap in Mulu's bell as opposed to the bow as well. It's kind of, it's a maybe right now. I'm not gonna fiddle with that too much right now. I'm fine with as it is right now. 5 turns until fully replenished. Man, we're gonna have to focus on replenishment. This is while we're inside a settlement. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Now, let's go ahead and do some recruiting. We'll save construction. Oh, we actually can't recruit right now. All right, fine. It's the first turn, right? So we'll do some construction. Li Bao and Mulu have become friends because of fighting in battle together. We looked at the traits gained already. Anything else? These are just our starting ancillaries. Oh no, we got the 2 flint weapons. Extra resolve. I mean, I'm probably gonna keep this. The machete. Sure, let's keep that for now. Let's keep that for now. What to build? Now, the building chains, actually, I maybe should have looked at this previously as well. I'll include another timestamp if you want to skip past our conversation about the building chains that you're seeing. Calling them... I'm avoiding calling them trees because they are, by and large, single branches. Where the decision-making gets sort of involved is in which branch to engage with, which one to opt for. Because as you can see, and I'm not going to go over in depth each and every little detail that everything gives. You can read it very quickly on the left there. Pause, take a screen grab if you want, whatever it might be. But as you can see, each one has its own benefits and uses, obviously, or how you might want to proceed. And obviously at times there are also costs, like the public order costs you're seeing over here with the marketplaces. Sometimes the decision comes down to what kind of unit you want to have available. Unit recruitment is limited with the Nanman. You are only able to recruit so many of certain units, like elephants, for example, and tiger slingers and tiger warriors. But that's why you'll need to build certain buildings to have access to more of that unit. So for example, I might very much need to focus on getting the Grand Barracks, though I believe the military infrastructure will also help us, giving us war elephant recruitment options. It's just a difference between seasonal deployments. So yeah, that's where you have to start getting picky about exactly what you want to take advantage of and how, and what costs you're willing to pay. Because again, once you commit to a line, you're just going down that line. There's no, opting for an optional sort of switch, except for some of these, where you are able to, go down a line, and then right at the end over here, you either pick between the, I believe it's the more economic focused option with military supplies, this is the more economic with trade, and this is military supplies at the cost of economy. Rice farms we don't have yet, but we can take a look at them still. And then there's T as well that has this branch over here, and I believe once again we're looking at income and reserve capacity versus income and trade influence. Being the trade-off. So there is some decision making, but by and large it is single lines, again, chains that you'll be working down based on which ones you decide to pursue at a certain location. Now, I don't mind what we're quote-unquote stuck with in either of these locations. We can either bump our income up from 40 to 70 from peasantry, or 70 to 100 from commerce. I think we're going to go with a commerce focus. So let's go ahead and get the tea grower going right away. Not going to rush the construction. Our next target is actually going to be Dong Tuna up over here for a few reasons that we'll get into after we hit end turn. Let's go ahead and do that. I know, the longest ever first turn in a Total War campaign ever. I understand, folks. However, I think maybe you'll understand if you saw all the details there were to go over for faction mechanics. It's so much is different. I mean, there are similarities, obviously. It is a Total War game after all, but there are so many things that are different. The Ritual of the Stone Forest. It is said that Ashima, having been forbidden to marry her love, turned into a stone within the stone forest. This powerful symbol attracts many pilgrims to the grey walls of the forest, and the site itself contains a strange power. We've gained the ritual of the elephant and the ritual of the ox for our faction. When the opportunity comes, we will be picking one of those and going over their details as well. But for now, let's prepare to make our move against Dongtuna over here. I think what we'll do is we'll march on up. Not able to get to Wanwen, unfortunately. We'll get as close as we can, I suppose. I do want to replenish en route. It's 2 turns until fully replenished. Okay, that's not so bad. Sure, let's go ahead and get you as far as you're willing to go. And we'll also do a little bit of recruitment right now. Yeah, we'll do a bit of recruitment right now. What I'm thinking is we'll go ahead and get one of these new generals, especially since we have some legendary characters available for us. One exercises government authority as an assignment. We have Encourage from the get-go. The other one has Charge Negation. Now what I'd like to do, potentially... We'll probably make Mulu be the Elephant and Tiger Slinger combo lord. So he's going to be our ranged general, if you will. With, you know, not all that much range, I guess. These guys, range of 100, not too bad. Sure. So I guess that's the approach we'll take with him. We can go ahead and make Li Bao our melee general. Though Li Bao and, I guess, Wu Shi Li Ju, again, trying my best, can both kind of be a mixed blend of infantry, like spears and axes and whatnot. I hesitate to rush a recruitment, but we have a legendary character within our reach, so I kind of feel like, why not? He's got charge negation, that's pretty valuable, especially as we start going up against the Han later on. So sure, it's a little expensive, but it's fine. Live a little, right? Go ahead and get him to join us. And let's go ahead and recruit. We have a fair bit of money, we have a fair bit of wiggle room as well as far as upkeep is concerned. I wish you could transfer units between retinues. I'd like to get this other unit of Southern Elephants, but I would also like to get it from Mulu. I think it would be more role-play appropriate. And I think, like I said earlier, or at least I intended to, I try to take that approach. We can get some more spears in here. Okay, sure, let's do this. Let's go ahead and get you a pair of... These guys have no shields, no block chances. So let's get you a pair of Nanman warriors. A little bit of money left, a little bit of upkeep room as well. Again, wiggle room. Let's hold on to that, actually. Let's try and maintain our economy. Let's not go ham on recruiting. I think this should be enough for us to deal with a couple of these small, you know, quote-unquote irrelevant factions, as it were. I do wonder if I want to get closer first so I can take advantage of the, you know, mustering. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be fine. We're done here, upgrading for a couple more turns. That is the turn done, though. So let's go ahead and hit that end turn button, see what the AI does, what moves they make. It's a pretty scary corner, I'm not going to lie. There are some, as you can see, like, speak of the devil. There are some heavy hitters in this region. Meng Huo already making a move over there. Oh, first things first, though. The ritual begins. Up to 4 rituals have been randomly drawn from your pool of unlocked rituals. Again, up to 8. We only have these 2. So of the 8 that we can unlock, 4 have been picked. We only have 2. Ritual of the Ox and Ritual of the Elephant. As the night draws in, your shamans come to you. It is time, my lord. The stars are aligned and the night birds have begun the chant. To whom shall we pay our respects this eve? You must choose, and wisely, as they will affect your people greatly over the coming year. So again, it'll last a handful of turns. The Ritual of the Ox reduces construction cost, but also hurts satisfaction and public order, whereas the Ritual of the Elephant increases construction cost, but also improves satisfaction and public order. Right now, I feel like we're in a position to reduce construction costs as we continue to upgrade some of our holdings. So let's stick with Ritual of the Ox over here. The ox toils hard in the field and shows the value of dedication. Yeah. Go ahead and confirm that. The Jianing tribes, I'm sure they've been confederated. I don't think that's a succession. Yes. Meng Huo has taken them. Up over here. Mission issued. The Ritual of the Yu River. The rivers are life itself, carving veins through China. There is no kingdom in the land that does not benefit from their flow. Yet their energies, too, can be harnessed by those who know how. You, Mulu, can channel these powers. So we have to capture and occupy Zhangqi at Wulian. And if we do that, we will unlock the Ritual of the Fish, which gives us extra food production and a huge bump to population growth at the cost of income from all sources. So, you know, again, there's a bit of a gamble there. There's a bit of a picking and choosing going on, which I love. I've talked about that in previous DLC all the time, so fantastic. But Zhangqi, I guess, is Dongtuna territory, which is why, you know, this is the direction we kind of want to head right off the bat. How long until we're fully replenished? 4 turns. Am I really willing to wait that long? It would take us 4 turns just to get up over here, basically. I don't think I have that kind of patience. Y'all know me. If you're familiar with the channel, you know that's not happening. Let's get a move on. Let's keep going here. And I mean, what else? This is a 3 settlement commandery. It'll take us towards Duosi, which our introduction told us is perhaps weak and a viable target. So where is Yelang? Yelang is over here. Okay. So Wulian, Yelang, and then Julan is, I suppose, up over here. Okay, fair enough. More recruitment? Nah. Let's not. This is almost done. By the way, that ritual is why I was hesitant about getting construction going right away. But saving 10% isn't the end of the world. We're fine. Public order is actually dropping. Okay, hold on a second. Negative. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Despite our chosen ritual, we'll be okay. And it's gonna take a while to get up there, though. The terrain is very difficult to traverse. Which I like thematically, but from like a progression perspective, it's like I just want to get there. I just want to fight. Meng Huo has declared war on Ahuinan. That's not so good for me. They're the ones we have the trade deal with. But I suppose it opens us up to battle with Meng Huo and push up this way. I suppose that's what we'll. I suppose that'll come before Duosi. Duosi, yeah. Got the name there, sorry. 7 turns till fully replenished, oh my god. Keep moving, I guess we'll trespass until we're able to declare war and strike at the same time. Also, the number of trees over here is definitely doing something to my frame rate, and I apologize for that. Maybe I have to actually reduce my graphics settings while I'm still stuck in the southern section over here, just because of the number of trees. Ridiculous to think about on the system I'm running. Yeah, let's do this. The bump to income from commerce is, I think, the way to go. Go for it. And again, reduced cost because of the ritual. Now's the time to do it. We're still making money. So we'll bump that up a little bit as well. Make some money as well after this battle. Hopefully it's not too much of a heavy fight. Hopefully we don't take too many losses. Because again, we do have to be careful. Because you can see the replenishment rate. Meng Huo offers a non-aggression pact. But he wants us to give him money. He wants us to give him tribute. And he wants us to give him our war blade, as well as the Book of Songs and the Clay Pig. Listen, I was okay with everything until you asked for the Clay Pig as well. Crossed the line there, buddy. You crossed the line. No, not a chance in hell. We don't need this non-aggression pact. We will crush him. Remember those words, buddy. Remember those words. We will crush him. We'll make him pay for that statement. Hopefully. Now, I do have to worry about his progress to the side over here, though. If he decides to get aggressive soon, it'll be a problem for us. Looks like these guys are relatively undefended. No replenishment, of course, in enemy territory. Let's dive on in, declare that war, and try and unlock that other ritual as well, right? Ooh, okay, they do have defenders. Nothing too scary, I don't think, though. Yeah, we should be fine. We should be fine. Dive on in. Post victory is being predicted. Let's take a look at the map over here. Are they... Ooh, okay, so this will require some work. We could starve them out and see if they sally forth. We've caused them some damage this way. I guess we could give them a turn of starvation. I don't think demanding surrender is going to work out. I don't think they're going to give up that easy. I'll give it a turn of starvation, see if they sally forth, and if they don't, then, again, I don't have that kind of patience. I don't think Mulu would either. I think one of my generals was actually upset. I should have checked that. Must have been a general that we obtained from... Oh. That is a big army. What do you know? They sally forth. Wonderful. An open field battle against this paltry army. It's not going to be a problem. To the battlefield we go. Let the elephants trumpet and charge. Alright. get this party started. Oh my god, this is dense forest cover over here. Hopefully that works in our favor. Again, they will have reinforcements coming. I don't know if they're going to fall back to them. But we will charge forth. No reason to sit back and relax. I mean, this terrain is a little in their favor. They do have these hilltops and whatnot. So they might choose to camp up over there. But that means nothing if we're able to get our elephants up to the side over there and go charging in. Let's pull everybody back first. Let's go ahead and get Mulu, your generals, and your elephants off to the side over here. Move them up through the trees. We will be exposed eventually, so no big deal. It's fine. Let's actually get all of you grouped up together. Let's get these guys kind of moving in reserve alongside that massive contingent over there. And this is going to be our core force, hopefully getting some work done. Let's get you guys in or out of skirmish mode, rather, grouped up as well. And nice and easy. Nothing too complicated right at the beginning over here. Let's stay on top of things, though. I want to make sure I don't take too many losses. As we can see, it gets pretty expensive pretty quickly. Are we able... Do we have the luxury of time to march, or must we rush forward? Looks like they are forming up over here, so I would say then we do have the luxury of time to a degree. And by luxury of time, I mean the opportunity to take a look at some of these units in this beautiful light. Because it really truly is one of the prettiest lighting engines to ever grace a Total War game. My lord. Look at that sky. Being distracted by the terrain over here, not even the units. Let's make sure we keep paying attention, though. I don't want to suffer too heavily. Units are all marching through. Indeed, they are taking their sweet time. Let's speed it up. We want to take a look at our elephants coming through the trees over here. Like that, in and of itself, is a bit of a sight to behold. My god, look at that! Just like the particle effects of the leaves and little like puffs of dirt and whatnot that were like floating through earlier. Mulu in charge. This unit just slightly behind. The shadows and everything, the red coloration of it all. The red of rage and fury and blood, I'm sure. Alright, let's go ahead and rush things a little bit. Speed things up. Might want to get everybody actually charging forward. Because we want to make... Oh, again, we're the attacker, so we have to win the fight, right? We can't just... we can't go too slowly. Alright, cavalry has arrived first, of course. Again, I need to remind myself constantly that these guys are still on horses. They're not on elephants. Put you guys up over here. Get you guys up over here. Try and get the engagement to happen over there so we can take advantage of being in the forest, right? Those buffs going. So I guess it applies across the board here. No. Yeah, let's try and fight in the trees, or among the trees, I guess I should say. Form up over there. Slingers. Ready to fire, hopefully soon. Got our elephants coming through as well. Looking to get some shots in. Again, these guys have no shields or anything, so we can do that. Cavalry's ready over here to charge in. Yeah, got those slingers back there that we'll want to shut down. Holding the line over here. Taking advantage of our little buff. Indeed we are. These guys are moving forward. Gonna get some shots in, hopefully. Slingers are able to fire away as well, I think. Yep. Drop these spears. A handful of shots coming through. The elephants coming through from the side as well. Good stuff. Minimal damage. Everything counts. Gotta get some counter charges in. I don't want to step out of the trees, though. I do want to take advantage of that. There we go. There we go. Hold our line over there. A little bit. Let's let the enemy engage fully. Why are you guys charging so far forward? That's what happened. I didn't pay attention to them charging forward like that in the previous battle. These guys have arrived as well. Prepare their flanking maneuvers. Get you guys over here to the side. Work here is already done almost. Alright, no time to waste. Let's charge in with the elephants. Charging with the elephants. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Beautiful. Just absolute destruction. Mayhem. Bloody, gory mayhem. I Love it. Oh, both of these units just giving up immediately. Immediately. Not a chance. Okay, let's pay attention here. Let's pay attention here. Get you guys coming down over here. Let's send you up over there. Shut down those slingers. Keep you chasing up there. Push you over here. Get these guys. We don't need the force advantage all that much. In comes a charge over here. Mulu pushing through. Beautiful. Mulu, more like mow you down with my elephant. That works. And the slingers have given up on the fight. Again, they've sallied forth, so we do kind of want to chase them down this time around and shut them down. So let's go ahead and engage over here. Let's pull you back out over here. Want to make sure we chase after these slingers and whatnot. Chasing up there. These guys have been eliminated. Excellent. Crush them. Because, again, if they fall back and retreat into their city, then I have to deal with them. There's still numbers to deal with. Let's try and stay on top of them, right? Good work over here. Yep. Good stuff, good stuff. Getting this charge back over here. As these guys march towards my my cavalry charge. Good work done over there. Wonderful. Pull away. Is this guy unbreakable? He is not. No. Pull away, pull away. In comes all these axes or spears. Facing up over there. Okay, not the end of the world. 7 slingers left over there. Those guys are basically done for. Pull you away, pull you up over there. So we can chase after those slingers as well. And up over there too. Work over here is done-ish. Alright, let's go ahead and get these guys back over here. Get you guys up over here. 11 left over here. I doubt that's going to be a problem for us. Let's get Mulu to shut down some of those horses. Again, you have to be careful because horses will hold your elephants in place, but I think at this stage of the battle we'll be okay. Push you up over there against the slingers. Probably pull you up this way as well. Let's go. And again, the idea here is just to try and reduce their numbers. And get some beauty shots while we're at it. Why not? Man, the trumpeting of the elephant feels more like a roar after you see them covered in blood like that. This is with reduced blood settings, by the way. What a time for the victory sign to come up. Alright, good stuff, good stuff. Zoom out a little bit. Giving chase up over here. Yep. Crush that nonsense. Crush that nonsense. Slow it down at the very least. Done well enough over here? Kind of. See if we can't shut anything else down. Might double speed it. These poor spears just must be so tired, just chasing aimlessly at these 12 Nanman warriors. It's gotta be exhausting. Alright, in comes a charge over here. Nice clean rear charge, I hope. 125 Nanman spears get dropped. Work. Stuff, good stuff. And we've got another charge coming from up over there. We do indeed. Let's go. Great line now. If I can, again, if I can get rid of all the units, then all the better for us, right? We can take the settlement much more easily. Here we go. In come the charges with those giant maces. I love that it's a mix of weapons as well. It's like so, it's such a disorganized military force, right? Feels like. And having the mixed weaponry amplifies that feeling. Oh my god, that guy leaping in like that from behind the tree. Love it. I think we're pretty much done here. We could probably pick up the pace. Yeah, that guy's gonna get away. That's too bad. What are you gonna do though? A couple spears, a couple warriors. But we might actually be able to just auto-resolve the settlement battle that comes up next. These guys are done for. Yep, literally completely eliminated. Nothing going on over here either. Let's claim that victory. A decisive one indeed. That is that battle done. Wonderful. I don't think we took too many losses. 640 kills on these elephants. 640 kills. And what do? We sent them charging into the backs of a bunch of spears. They went through a bunch of axe units, just mowed them down, and got their kills. Wonderful. Wonderful. Lost a handful of units, not that bad. Gained another machete, it looks like. Machete. Machete, don't text. Oh, let's go ahead and take the replenishment. I think that's the right call over here. Yeah, let's go with that. That was a dope animation. Not gonna lie, that was a dope animation. A little victory flourish he did. Mission issued, prepare the economy. For our people to prosper and our armies to march, it is required that we strengthen our economy and infrastructure for what lies ahead. Ensure that the following building has been constructed. Tea grower. On success, we get the economic breakthrough. Ah, I see. Okay. We've also got, I'll explain in a moment, the enemy's secret mission issued. You must engage and overcome those around you if you are to understand their strategies and methods. Once you have learned their ways, decide whether to emulate or exploit those strategies. Completing the defeat of 3 armies or garrisons will give us a military breakthrough. And keep your enemies closer. To grow your, or rather our, right, together, we're working together. To grow our nation, you must cooperate with other powers, else your fledgling expansion will end just as soon as it has begun. No 10 factions, have a treaty with a faction. I guess we've already done both of these. Political breakthrough is the reward there. Yeah, cool, wonderful. And we have acquired elephant taming as well as our the first reform that we'd assigned for ourselves. It looks like we've got a foreign visitor. Interesting. In the wake of your continued victories, a foreigner arrives at your court, hailing from lands far from your own. Your victories, they say, are worthy of celebration, and offer themselves as a follower and advisor to your rule. For good or for ill, they appear determined to remain in your employ. Interesting. An adept. Okay, fair enough. That's just the way of acquiring retinue, I suppose. Right. What I was saying was interesting is that I was under the impression that we start with an advantage over here as Mulu. I was mistaken. The reason why I thought that is because I'd always got the tree grower, and so I always had this unlocked, and I was just like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we have. But no. Again, if you missed the deep explanation, the brief explanation is this: as we accomplish those missions that were just assigned to us, we unlock these tiers to perform research in. And the mission was assigned as we completed elephant taming, our first bit of research, our first reform, if you will. And now we get to choose between extra income from commerce, which is probably what I'm going to do, an extra trade agreement, which is maybe not a terrible idea either, more income from peasantry, more food production and military supplies, or better population growth. I'm thinking income from commerce is probably a good idea to focus on because that is likely... I was thinking because we have, the commerce income over here, we could probably bump that up a little bit. And up over here, as we take the settlement here, we should be able to take advantage of that as well. Let's level Mulu up over here, another step of his authority, maybe. Sure. Again, helping unit morale, I guess, so the elephants keep standing and fighting. This should be a decisive victory. A Pyrrhic victory is predicted. Really? Come on. It's the what? Demanding surrender is not going to work. It's their only settlement. Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess we'll have to dive into this battle and take from the Dong Tuna. But unfortunately, folks, not much of a cliffhanger. But that's going to have to happen next time. Again, with early access comes time limits and things like that, so I'm working around that to make sure I can get you a handful of episodes over the next handful of days. So I must call today's session at this point. Hope y'all don't mind. We'll kick things off next session by taking... I find it funny. Hold on. Wasn't it? What? Hold on. Where is my Ritual of the U River? We capture... Oh my god. Yeah, we get the Ritual of the Fish from defeating the Dong Tuna, or at least the settlement they own. I'm just pointing that out. Just pointing that out. Right, so this is where we're going to call it a session, folks. Next session, we're going to kick things off by taking this settlement, acquiring that new ritual, and then perhaps getting ready for war with Meng Huo. He's right next to us. He's at war with Huinan, so that's troubling. He might very quickly turn around and threaten us immediately. So maybe, yeah, once we take that, we push down over here, recruit a bit more, and push against Meng Huo to make our progress against the first major tribe, I suppose, as it were, unlocking a few things for us. Anyway, folks, next episode will be tomorrow at the same time. If you enjoyed this session, and if you would like to see more Total War 3 Kingdoms on the channel, and you would like to see this Let's Play continue to completion, As always, the best way to make sure that happens is by leaving a like and a comment down below. The numbers give me a quick read on interest level on the various series on the channel and lets me know what I should do more or less of as a result. And on top of that, I do read through all of the comments so that I have a better idea of what y'all are interested in actually seeing happen in these series. I think we're off to a good start. I'm having a lot of fun with Mulu so far. Hopefully y'all are as well. But folks, as I was saying, it's time to say goodbye. Until tomorrow. As always, a massive thanks goes out to all of my channel members and patrons for supporting this channel on a monthly basis. Y'all keep us alive and running smoothly. And of course, a big ol' thanks goes out to each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, cheers.